This is a two-part demo. So it is going to be your Marcel and also your wand. The very first thing that you need to be aware of is electrical safety. When we are using hot tools or plugging an item in, you have to make sure that if there's any issues, any smell, any sparks, we go to the emergency shutoffs, which are located where? There's one there, one here, one by dispensary, and one in the teacher's lounge. So if you plug something in and it doesn't smell right, or if it sparks, or if you drop it, or if you spill something on it, you shut it off. You turn it off at your station and also hit the emergency stop. It is extremely important that no drinks or food are out in this area because there are electrical outlets. You can get shocked if water touches that outlet. We want to make sure we're very conscious of our safety and our client's safety. These are hot tools. So when you're grabbing it, you want to make sure that you never touch the area that is on. You don't want to touch it. It will be hot, I promise you. It's like telling a child not to touch the stove that's on. They're going to do it. We have a glove that you wear when you are doing your wands. We have a glove for your Marcel. Your Marcel iron is different from your curling iron. Yes, it creates a curl, but it is a completely different tool. Your Marcel looks like this. It will spin in your hands. This gives you dexterity. The main important thing you guys are going to do this weekend, you are going to go home and you're going to take your Marcel. You do not, again, do not plug it in and do this your first time. You will burn yourself. Keep it unplugged, and while you're doing your TikTok, or while you're watching TikTok, or while you're at a slumber party, or you're watching your favorite Netflix series, you're going to spin it in your hands over and over. You are going to click it. You want to, can you turn that off for just a second? You want to hear this sound. You want to hear the click, because you're going to click and turn, click and turn. You want to hear that with every time you use this. If you look, you hold it, you can tell it spins 360 degrees. My hand's not making it spin, but it does spin. There you go. You do not want to do this while it's plugged in. It will burn. Unplugged, cord just lay there, and you are going to roll it in your hands over and over. You can use 2 fingers. You can use 1 finger. I use my thumb and my middle finger to roll it, and I use my ring finger to kick it up to get that click. That's the most important that you want to hear that, because that's how you're clicking down on the hair shaft, rolling it up and clicking again to get to that end piece, rolling it up and clicking. That is extremely important when you're using the Marcel. You need that constant spin. When you're doing a curling iron, you will start at the ends of the hair. You do not do that here. You will start on the mid shaft of the hair, which is the middle of your hair strand. And that's when you will insert the Marcel and start rolling and clicking to move it down the hair, curl and click. It is one motion that you do together. It takes time to learn that motion. It's okay. If you're clicking and you're like, you drop the Marcel, that's okay, because A, it's not plugged in, and B, you're learning. Some will catch on extremely fast. Some have already used this. Some will not. It's okay. You always, no matter what, want to look. This one goes up to 450. Nobody in this room needs this Marcel on at 450. Nobody. You will average between 315 and 425 at the most. I like to keep it around 375, 400 max. You want to take your Marcel and check the heat with your sand neck strip or your end paper, like we did with the flat iron, is extremely important to continue to check your heat. There were questions the other day, which were great questions, that said, we don't see anybody doing that when we go get hair. Nobody checks their flat irons. I can assure you, to this day, I still do. Because the one time you don't check, you might have, when you were spinning it, you might have hit that knob right there, and now it's at 450, and you're going right in with somebody that has really fine hair, and you just burned their hair. Not on purpose, but it's very easy to hit this button, that's your temperature, when you're rolling. Did you see how I hit it? It's very, very easy. Did you girls see how you hit it? You're not even trying. When you're rolling that, you bump that temperature. You also could bump the on-off. You can keep going. So you could turn it off, and then you're like trying to curl, and there's no curl. It's because you hit the on-off. So it's really important to be very mindful and conscientious of the tools that you are using and what can and cannot happen. I know it seems really juvenile to have to go home and spin your Marcel, but I promise you, the more you practice, the more dexterity you get in your hands. It will be easy for you to do. Now I have to turn it back on because I just turned it off. I look at the temperature. I have it set at 375 degrees. While that's heating up, I'm going to tell you what we need. You're going to need hand sanitizer. First thing you do is sanitize your hands. You sanitize your hands, then you move forward. You're going to use a vent brush or a standard comb. This helps you to take the hair and part it. If it's knotty, you'll just brush from your ends to your scalp. Remember, you move from the bottom up every time. Then you're going to take your parting comb and you're going to part the hair. And we're going to go straight down the middle and straight down the back. I'm parting this in two sections. We're going to do Marcel on the left. I'm doing the wand on the right. You will do an entire head of wand and an entire head of Marcel. I'm doing this so we could do two demos in one day so that you guys can get closer to hair cutting. I'm going to take a butterfly clip. I suggest 4 butterfly clips so that you can do a plus sign parting. You'll part right behind from the top of the head right down to behind the ear. And you can clip that. Make sure you have a nice clean parting with a clip. And you just clip the hair out of the way. Then in the back, you're going to take the other part. If you look in the head when you're done, you'll have that plus sign. So you'll have 2 on one side, 2 on the other. It's easier for control of the hair if you have it parted in certain areas. You're not taking too big of sections and you're not missing hair that you need to curl. I also have a thermal protectant spray. You guys can use the pressing oil. You just won't get as tight of a curl. Remember, you don't need a lot of that pressing oil. A little bit goes a really long way, okay? So now that I have my 4 sections, it's a plus sign in the head. Everybody can see it's a plus sign. I'm going to take the bottom portion, the very bottom layer, and I'm going to leave that out, clipping out the rest of the hair. So that's out of my way, so I have more control over what I'm doing. So now I have one section out. I'm going to very, very lightly spray that section of hair. Very lightly. You don't want to spray for a long period of time. It is an aerosol thermal spray. You just need to very lightly coat it. You will see a cloud when you are doing this with a thermal spray. You will see smoke coming off the hair. That is okay. It's not the hair burning. It is the product that you're putting on to protect the client's hair. I'm going to take a small section. It's probably about an inch wide. Oh, I was really yelling. It's probably about an inch wide, and you're going to go in with your Marcel. The very first thing I'm doing, again, is checking my area, making sure it's safe, making sure that my temperature is at a correct temperature. There's a little bit of product on here from before, so it's smoking a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to check it, make sure it's not too hot. You can see the ridge on the paper. I'm going to spin in my hands. I'm going to take this section of hair. Can everybody see? And I'm going to start in the mid of the hair. And I'm going to do one complete turn. And then I click. And I turn again. And I click. Watching that end of the hair get to the bottom. I'm going to place my comb. Click down. This will happen a lot. I'm going to show you. If you click too much and the end of the hair goes down, you're going to lose that hair. And you'll have to go back in and re-click. You always want to make sure when you get to the scalp, you are protecting your client's scalp with a comb. It's extremely important to protect that client's scalp. You release it and you have your curl. If you have a client that has a hard time keeping curls in their hair, you can lightly spritz that curl with a little bit of aerosol hairspray. Then you're going to, again, check your flat iron, making sure it's not too hot. I'm checking the temperature to make sure I didn't bump it. I'm going to take my next section and I'm going to insert the middle of the hair shaft, one complete turn. And I'm clicking and moving that Marcel towards the end of the hair as I'm rolling. Clipping and rolling. And then I'm placing the comb against the client's scalp to ensure they do not get burnt. Then I lift the Marcel out and slide it out. So when you're releasing that hair, you're taking the Marcel and opening it and sliding it out of the hair. So it's one motion. You open and slide it out. Does anybody have any questions on this so far? Do you see why it's important to get that roll? Your hand will hurt, I promise you. That's how you know you're doing it correctly. Your fingers will be sore, but you need that motion. When you're not curling, you set it aside to make sure that it is not near your client because it is a hot tool. You are then going to take your next section and you're going to bring it down, clipping this hair out of your way. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to spray it a little bit on the top, and a little bit on the bottom of the thermal protected spray. I'm going to take my section, which is about a 1-inch section. I'm going to hold my comb in my hand. And I'm going to test my flat iron or my Marcel again. So I'm testing the temperature. It's still good. I'm looking at the temperature gauge on my Marcel. It is extremely important to get in a habit of watching that. You don't understand how easy it is to move that temperature gauge when you're clicking and turning your Marcel. So you're going to go in and you're going to start in the middle of the hair shaft, one complete turn, and you're going to click and turn, click and turn. Insert that comb by the client's scalp so that they do not get burnt. This is a very hot tool. And then you're going to release it and slide it out. I'll do this other section and then I'll move over to the wand. You have to make sure using a hot tool, you are always keeping in mind the heat. Again, I'm going to spray very lightly. Oh my God, it won't turn off. And that could happen too. Did anybody see what just happened? The thermal protectant spray got stuck and kept spraying. So again, that's why you always want to spray away from the client's face. Protect your client at any time so that that doesn't get on their skin or in their eyes. You don't expect something like that to happen, but it does. That's why it's important to build these safety and sanitation skills now so that you're always doing it. The more you do something, the better you become. If you do the same thing for 21 times, it becomes a habit. So you're going to check your Marcel, the heat of it. And I bumped it with the comb, so I'm now at 450. Do you see how easy? I just picked it up and bumped it. It happens. So I'm going to push it back down. I'm going to take the center of my hair, starting in the middle, and I'm going to slide one full click, 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 down to the end, click, 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 down to the end, insert the comb against the client's scalp, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to open and release. So it's open, release it out. And you have your curls. This is my last section. I'm going to do top and bottom. It's okay. She's not on film. Start in the middle, click and release, click and release, click and release. When I get closer to that scalp, I'm going to insert the comb so that we protect the client's scalp. Click and release. Open that Marcel. You see the curl start to drop and you just slide the Marcel out. If you don't like a curl, I don't like that one, you can go right back into the middle and re-curl that piece, holding your ends, clicking it towards the end, clicking it towards the end, and then insert your comb to protect the client's scalp. Open the Marcel and release that hair. You can always recurl a piece of hair if you don't like the way the curl happens. Sometimes when you're starting to use the Marcel, you will get a line in the hair because of where the top of the Marcel is on the hair. So you'll get a kink. It's okay. You'll just learn to get in front of the hair and roll it backwards. Or if you want it towards the face, you'll roll it towards the face. It's all one motion. If you are nervous about holding the end of the hair, you can put your glove on. Your glove will protect your hand from the heat. It's a thermal insulated glove, so it will not, you won't get burnt. Okay? This is what your Marcel curls will look like. You will do the entire head. The entire head, not just half, your entire mannequin head, all of it. Entire head. I promise you, someone's going to do half Marcel, half wand. I promise you. Entire head is your Marcel. We're going to do the wand on the right hand side. You want to follow the same safety instructions that we gave you for the Marcel wand. Again, this is a very, very hot tool. Where you have your Marcel, there's a tip. You don't ever want to touch that. I can do it right now because I have the glove on. Again, unplug, dexterity. That's your homework. This is a little bit different. You want to watch how your temperature is. You won't move your temperature on this one because your hand's going to stay here. You can do one of two things. You can wear the glove on the hand that you're holding the wand, or you can wear the glove on the hand that you're holding the hair. Again, you're going to test it. I just like to go in and I just grab it like this and I just slide that paper on it. Real easy. Slide it on, wrap it over, slide it on. just to make sure that temperature is safe. You're gonna use your thermal setting spray as well. I'm gonna spin just a little bit. For your wand, you're gonna take the same size sections. So it's about 1 inch wide. You're gonna clip the other hair out of the way. She wants to face me now. She doesn't want to look at the crowd. And when you're doing this, the only difference is the way you hold the hair. When you're taking your section, instead of your Marcel where you're clicking and turning to get that hair to move on that curling iron, you are going to wrap the hair around the wand. You want to hold the end of hair. I need to move this out of my way a little bit. Okay, you're going to hold the end of the hair and you're going to start in the middle of the hair and you're going to slide that hair and you're going to wrap it around. So you're going to hold that end piece and very carefully wrap it around. When you're done, you'll have your curl. Does everybody see you have your curl? So you're going to take your next section. You're going to make sure that you spray the hair with your thermal spray. You always want to protect your client's hair. You don't ever want to just add heat to it without protecting it. That heat will cause frizziness. It will cause split ends. It will cause you to burn the client's hair. You don't want to do that. Your main goal as a cosmetologist is safety and sanitation throughout your services and always protecting your client and the integrity of their hair, skin, and nails. That is extremely important. You don't want to cut corners. You don't want to take easy things. You always want to make sure you are keeping their hair, skin, and nails in the safest possible way that you also want to try to enhance. So if they have dry hair, you want to make a pattern with them to get it to where it's healthy. Your end goal should always be best health, skin, and nails of your client. So again, I'm going to check my wand and it's just easy. You just drape it over real quick and just 1, 2, slide it over. I already sprayed the thermal spray. I'm going to take my section. I go downward with the wand because you want the wider to tighter. So you turn it down, you insert middle, and you start rolling the hair around it. The longer you go, closer to the tip of the wand, the tighter curl you're gonna have. If you want tighter at the scalp, you could do it this way and roll it this way. I don't do that. I like the tighter curl to be at the bottom because you want that volume towards the scalp. So you turn the wand upside down and you're going to go in the middle. You want to hold a little bit of tension, but you want to make sure that you can move that hair around that wand and then you'll release it. And when you release it, you have your curl. You guys see? Hopefully you guys are taking notes because when you try to do this in 6 weeks or when you come back next year, you're going to need your notes to follow.
Are you able to move it so we can see whenever you move?
Yes, I'll do it this way too, and I'll move it around so everybody can see. Did everybody get to see the Marcel?
Are you wrapping the hair like flat against the wand or no?
When I'm taking the hair, I have it out at an angle, like it's like at a 90-degree angle from the head, and then I go in with my wand in the middle and I wrap it just like you would wrap a piece of string. So it's like a corkscrew. Spraying my thermal spray very lightly, making sure that it's not sprayed towards the client, spraying this way, testing the wand. It's extremely important to get in the habit of safety of the heat of the hot tool that you're using. Then you're going to go in. Can you guys see? I'm going to take it in at an angle and I'm just going to corkscrew the hair around the wand. You can twist the wand too if that helps you, and then you're going to release your curl. Okay? Did anybody need to see that too? I can turn it around and show you guys on this end. Remember, every demonstration that we do, you guys have 3 days to practice, and then you can turn it in. Remember, you guys are here, so today's considered 2 days. So then on Monday, you guys by the end of the day would be turning in either the Marcel or the wand, and then you guys will turn in Wednesday, Friday. Are they here Friday? Next Friday? It's this Friday, they're not here. Okay, so next Friday, you guys will be turning in the opposite one, either your Marcel or your wand. So Monday and Friday, you'll be turning these in.
Hold on, change of days.
You also want to make sure you are not taking a section this big
And Thursday.
and doing your wand or your Marcel so you can get this service done and turned in. You want to make sure you're taking your time and learning the proper technique, because this is your foundation. You'll build on it every 9 weeks. You'll practice it.
Mrs. Goggle,
Yes.
they are only here next week, next Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So Tuesday and Thursday, you guys will have stuff to turn in. So Tuesday, you'll do either your wand or your Marcel, and Thursday, you'll turn in the opposite one. If you want to do Marcel and turn that one in first, then you would owe the wand. Okay? You can't turn both in 1 day. It's impossible. So we're going to start one more time. I'm going to show you, and then we're going to stop with the demo and ask if we have any questions.
I'm not sure I understand.
Did you see how you have the curl? Did you see how I turned it in and spun? So I take it down and I start the hair in the middle and I work around the tip of the iron. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody need to see something up close? Does anybody have any questions for their demo sheet on what you need to have? Everybody's good? Okay, so when is this due?
That, if they can survive hypersonic entry, we know from our suborbital hops that we can take the ship the rest of the way to
Not
the
sure what just happened on the TV.
He, like us,
Yeah.
are
A
looking for
rocket?
that
There's a
re-entry
rocket
into
on
the-
TV.
the prison
So,
right
you know,
And I don't know.
we don't know
or
why
how
it came on, but
TV. Dr. Hoops
So-
is just in here with his phone showing me the video, and then all of a sudden it pops onto the TV.
so if we need any questions, anything, we will have the video. You can watch the video. If you need anything repeated or shown personally, please do not hesitate to ask. One will be due Tuesday, one will be due Thursday. Okay?